Good morning. I'm Caitlin with Wiregrass Daily News, and I'm here with Mr. Phillipe Kirksey, who is running for City Commissioner District 2. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Great. Thank you for coming in this morning. So, first question is, what do you see as the primary responsibilities of a commissioner?
I think commissioner should be someone that could be accountable, but also make sure that the inner workings and infrastructure in a particular district in the city of Dothan is working to its ultimate capacity. Whether that's your fire emergency services, police services, your waste management services, your roadways, they should be safe and passable. Always should be in good condition. So driving can be safe to and from work, to and from, and wherever citizens have to travel in this. Also providing resources that's needed to handle issues that may go on in the district, and making sure the quality of life for all the constituents in the district is to its ultimate capacity.
How do you plan to balance your role as a commissioner with other elected officials and departments?
That's great. Great question. I think the building and the establishing and growth of non-competitive partnerships with the other commissioners on the district, you have to build those relationships. That way, the importance and the things that need to be done and completed in your district is easier understood. Indirectly, we all have the same goal of maximizing the growth of the city of Dothan as a whole, but indirectly, we would like all of our districts to benefit from that growth and positive change and outcome.
What specific skills or experiences do you bring to the table that will make you an effective commissioner?
I think my diverse career background. I have somewhat of a background in juvenile behavioral health. I have also a background in education, being currently right now a teacher, to along with the combination of being a full time law enforcement officer. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. I also have a master's degree in business. So I think my educational background and my former career background brings a great, unique skill set to the district. Sitting on the district, if I'm elected, will be the first time that I believe in the city of Dothan that there is an active law enforcement officer sitting on the district representing.
What strategies will you use to ensure transparent and open communication with constituents?
I think having the open door policy, where all constituents can contact you, voice their concerns, make sure their voices are heard. Also having town hall meetings. I think meeting with your constituents, hearing the voices, that's been one of the best parts of the campaign process. Going door to door, just talking, getting to know people. I've met some unique and great families, from the Moore's family to the Ard family, Mr. Strickland. There's so many people that I've met that have unique stories, but also have some very valid concerns and also some great ideas that can actually help improve the living and the quality of life of the constituents.
How do you plan to involve the community in decision making and ensure that their voices are heard?
I have a vision. I believe in the team concept because I am a coach. I coach youth football, but also coach boys varsity basketball as well. So I do believe in the team aspect. So me building a team, I would like to call it Team D2. I use that concept all the time. Say we're Team District 2. Even if I'm the head coach, you have to have great players. So having an idea and an entity of possibly making even community liaison members, splitting District 2 down into quadrants, maybe four quadrants, and finding those who are very interested in being representation for their community and their neighborhoods, and having them as liaisons with direct access, contacting me on a regular basis if they have any concerns or if they see things, having more sets of eyes and ears in the district, because honestly, I'm only one person. So I can only be one place at a time. Or if I'm out of town at a conference or things of that nature, I still have people out here actively hearing the concerns of people. So we can actually take those liaison members and have semi-annually our own strategic planning meetings inside of our district to address issues that directly affect District 2, and not just waiting maybe once a year to meet, but we can meet even quarterly if needed, if there's new issues arise. So having those representatives that can talk to their neighbors, talk to their friends, talk to their family members on a regular basis, and bringing those issues and concerns back to me, and we meet and develop a plan to attack those issues or address those issues or to help alleviate.
How do you plan to support local economic development and attract new businesses to your district?
I think letting new businesses and new corporations who have an interest in coming to the area, let them know that we have a very responsible, reliable, and highly skilled workforce. Maybe even creating a database of people with skills and information, knowledge, and experiences in certain aspects of corporations, manufacturing, things of that nature, and let those companies and corporations know that we can fulfill the workforce need by having our constituents, our citizens apply for those jobs, work those jobs. We have a very, very responsible workforce that likes working jobs and stay in their careers for long periods of time. So having those companies know that they can come here and fulfill all the obligations, whether they have production needs or employment needs, we can actually fulfill those needs and make a great partnership with those corporations.
What steps will you take to ensure that taxpayer dollars are spent efficiently and responsibly?
Yeah, I think that's a great thing. Budgeting is very important, and I think having a business background. Me and my wife currently own a business here locally. We own a daycare, and I actually own a part-time business myself. So making sure finances are spent properly. My dream or my vision, I would love to see a revenue generating project in District 2. There are other revenue generating projects that have been built in other districts like James Oates Park, Westgate Park. As we know, they actually host a lot of events, whether it's baseball tournaments, softball tournaments, soccer tournaments, things of that nature. Contract with local high schools to host their home games, whether it's Houston Academy soccer games or Houston Academy football games at Northcutt Field. So I would love to have some type of entity or some type of facility in District 2 that can also generate revenue for our district so we can have District 2 grow with the rest of the city of Dothan and also position our residents to benefit from those resources.
What are your priorities for improving infrastructure within your district?
Once again, safe roads, uh, more lighting, sidewalks. I would love to see the creation of a lot of sidewalks, and one of the things I'm going to definitely push is to have those. In my neighborhood where I live, there's a couple residential properties in the area where there's even older citizens who like to walk. However, there isn't a sidewalk on our adjacent street. So I would love to see sidewalks, lit sidewalks. So if they want to take evening walks with their family or early morning walks, they don't have to worry about high traffic areas or even being near the road, creating a danger. Um, so just making sure the water and sewage is nice and flowing, always have access to that. Also making sure infrastructure wise that police and fire services are able to respond efficiently and immediately and as soon as possible. Cut down response times. I think the city of Dothan has done very, very great with the hiring of over 200 sworn police personnel who patrol the streets every day, monitor traffic, make sure things are running in a safe capacity. But also with the new building of a lot of new fire stations. I believe that the fire response and the ambulance response is great in the city of Dothan. I do believe every district possibly right now has their own fire station. So just making sure we continue to improve and progress as we grow as residents and the number of people living in the city of Dothan increases. We want to make sure that our service and our service capacity increases along with.
How do you plan to ensure that public services like police, fire, and healthcare are accessible, efficient, and adequately funded?
Just by saying kind of, piggyback on what I just said, just making sure that those jobs are filled. I do believe right now the city of Dothan is actually currently hiring for more police officers as well. But we also want to make sure that our fire department and also our emergency responses are there and very efficient if there's any need that arises.
What is your plan to improve public safety in the district while ensuring equal treatment of all residents?
Very good. I think fair and equal treatment under the law is lawful. I think who better than me to be a liaison between the people that I serve as their commissioner and their public entity services. I do believe that all of our first responding services should be a direct reflection of the community that they serve, which I think Chief Benny has done a great job in making sure diversity is a ultimate priority in the Dothan Police Department. We see a great amount of diverse officers and even minority officers patrolling the streets of the city of Dothan. And I think my skill set of not only being a former law enforcement supervisor, but having 20 plus years of experience in law enforcement and also being a field training officer, which that means I'm a FTO. So I actually have for a number of years trained law enforcement officers to how to interact with to how to build those relationships, rapport, responsibilities, communication. I think communication is key. I also think the need of diversity sensitivity training would also be a great, unique aspect to continue to add to our first responders as they can go in some diverse environments, whether there's a language barrier or a cultural barrier. They can be equipped with tools and information and training to help them overcome that. That way, they can provide the best quality of service in their duties.
How do you plan to collaborate with local law enforcement and community organizations to address crime and community safety?
Um, One of the models we've always followed that I've actually also instructed at different agencies where I've worked is called the COP model. And not just talking about an individual who's a law enforcement officer, but the COP model is an acronym for community oriented policing. So taking the policing initiative to actually build trust between law enforcement agencies and the community, I think is a great aspect and a great entity and a great program to provide to our citizens. But it also just teaches communication skills to even officers who may not be as experienced. But building those relationships with the community that you serve in a normal capacity in your daily duties as you patrol, meeting the people, knowing people by name basis, first name basis, and I think that way that trust is built because there's a familiarity. We all know that familiarity can actually divulge or actually bring down a lot of intense situations. It actually can diffuse a lot of heightened intentions or hesitations that people may have when they come into contact with law enforcement. So I think a community-oriented policing model will be great, especially for our district and District 2, and building that trust, rapport, relationships, and a great, once again, non-competitive partnership between law enforcement agencies and the community that we serve.
How will you address environmental sustainability within your role as a commissioner?
One thing about the city of Dothan, they are has a lot of initiatives already in place. They're working. Dothan has a free recycling program. If you contact the city environmental services, they always are looking for unique and innovative ways to better serve the community. Once again, with that free recycling service, I think that would help decrease the amount of waste that's taken to the landfill. Also, the state of Alabama have a number of green initiatives at the state and federal level that the city of Dothan is following behind. And our environmental services were always fully staffed. So just making sure all of those resources and all of those amenities are in full working capacity to continue to serve the citizens.
How will you work to ensure that there are adequate resources and programs for the youth within your community?
Oh, that's great. I think community programs are really good, especially for the youth. There's actually once again there's people who are actually doing a great job with some of the programs they've already established. I think backing those and making sure funding is there, resources for them to continue to grow. A good friend of mine who I've known for a number of years, Mr. Nate Patterson, owns and operates the Youth Impact Center, the Time Youth Impact Center. And I stopped by a couple of weeks ago, and he had over 100 kids there on a Monday night event, and just having a spiritual base where kids can learn, grow, and be in a safe environment is great. I went to the town hall that Mr. Isaiah Reese conducted in District 2 on 6th Avenue at his facility, where he's brought already the NFL flag program, which operates throughout the year. They just recently hosted a playoff program where they brought in teams from all over the South and all over the country who competed in NFL flag with some of our local students as well and our local. My son actually plays in that program, and I actually the first inaugural year I actually coached a team from the Dothan Housing Authority. So I would pick up my team and I'll bring them out there to practice, and we would compete. And just by chance in our age group, we lucked up and made the championship game of that season. We fell just a little short, but I was so proud of my team and so proud of those young men for coming together, not even knowing each other, but coming together, understanding We had a goal in mind, and they worked hard at it, and we almost achieved our ultimate goal. And I think they have another initiative where they're bringing in community members, bringing in people from all over the country as well. He's hired new employees with his company to actually help increase the amount of programming is there. The town hall was very great because we had local residents. Once again, establishing non-competitive partnerships with his employees and bringing in new ideas to hopefully turn it into a fully functioning community center very, very here in the near future. That will have after school programming, have a lot of activities and learning avenues for those youth in the communities. One of my personal initiatives is I've talked with some other people in the community, some friends of mine, some business owners, and they would like to start a program called the You Can Too program. And the You Can Too program is a program that helps kids get on a career path for their future. College is great. College is always a great opportunity to excel your avenue for success in the future. However, if a student decides that the workforce is the best possible opportunity for them after high school, that would pair a mentee with a mentor, someone in the community who may be an electrician, a fireman, a plumber, an auto mechanic, a police officer who's highly experienced in those career paths. They could actually pair up with a mentee who's actually already shown interest in becoming those jobs and becoming those and being part of those professions, and they could actually show them how to get there. I think having a mentor and a guide to help them achieve their goals will be a great thing for our youth. Because sometimes the youth, they just don't know what they've never been taught, and that's the great point of being an adult and a mentor and a great opportunity to pour back into your community in a positive way so they can actually take those youth, guide them in showing, okay, if I did it, then you can too.
What are your plans for supporting education in the district, especially for underfunded schools?
I think the school board would always need some support of the city, especially from the city commission. They have their own entities, but I think us fully supporting the school board in our regards, as far as making sure they have the resources and funding and other avenues that they need to work at their full capacity. I think there probably isn't a much more important issue than the education of our kids and our community, because we're going to hand the keys to the car of society over to them in the near future, and we want them to be fully trained and fully operating and have the best possible education that they possibly can receive in our schools.
How will you ensure that healthcare and social services are accessible to all residents?
Um, just kind of already getting knee deep in it, kind of jumping in head first. There's actually people that are established in the community that are doing a great job. Miss Stephanie Harden, she's the Dothan Municipal Court Social Services Director. I speak with her weekly. I actually even had to contact her and a gentleman by the name of Jonathan Riley over the weekend, just by when I was out campaigning, ran into someone who actually was in crisis and needed some services. But meeting with a lot of nonprofits, how she actually pulls all that networking together, hosting events and putting everybody in contact with each other, and also establishing a informational base where everybody knows what everybody does. That way we can reach out when there are things in need. There's actually even nonprofits. I went to a nonprofit luncheon this past Wednesday, I believe it was, and there are actually entities that are nonprofit driven that actually can provide mental health services, medical services to those who may not even have insurance. So there's a lot of unique resources out there, but from the commission standpoint, we would need to provide resources to those entities. We need to provide our ultimate amount of support to those entities so they can either expand, grow, and also continue to do what they're blessed to do. I believe you have to be a blessed, called person by God and anointed to do some of the work that they're doing, and it's phenomenal. So our job as commissioners and representative of governmental entities is to support those, see what they need, provide them with resources and tools they need to continue to do the great job that they're already doing, but also help get new ideas and establish new entities that can further grow that whole capacity.
What initiatives will you support to address mental health and addiction issues within the district?
Um, Once again, some of the nonprofits, that already do so much, the peer group, and a number of others that actually address those either mental health people with mental health issues suffering from those, people with abuse issues suffering from that disease, or a combination of both. There's an entity just right outside the city that actually deals with those with dual diagnoses. That actually will help those particular subjects who suffer, and people just need help. So I think us supporting those and once again continue it is what they're already doing. I think is our main job to make sure that they can continue to do that and grow.
What steps will you take to ensure that affordable housing is available for all residents?
Um, Affordable housing is one of the um, main issues in District 2 that I think would, once it's addressed, can change the game, change a lot of things for a lot of people. Finding investors, real estate developers who would love to build those partnerships with the city that can actually build affordable housing or revitalize some of the housing that's already there. Once again, we have to understand that real estate development is a great thing because there's a lot of ways that you can get involved without having so many certifications because it technically doesn't involve the vertical building, where you have to be a general contractor to do vertical building. But with real estate development, you can actually just enhance the property or enhance the quality of a property, increase the value of it. So there's a lot of people that can get involved with that who may be interested. So finding those people who are interested in real estate development, but also finding those builders that can also build new properties that's affordable, but they also need to be safe and they also need to be of quality. Because affordable is a great aspect of housing, but also you don't want to compromise quality or safety just because it's affordable. And studies show that students and youth that come from safe, sanitized, well-established housing do better in school. They're able to concentrate. They're able to develop their academic success a lot better. They're able to open up new avenues for scholarships and their future success in whatever career path that they choose. So I think affordable housing is very great. Also for the common person, your house, your home, is the biggest investment that you'll ever make in your life. So having it to where people who maybe work a blue collar job or may not make the most amount of income still should be able to afford a home. And I think as a commission, we need to really deep dive in whatever avenues we need to create, find, or establish that can do that and provide that to all the constituents and all the citizens, not just in District 2, but in the city of Dothan as a whole, and even expand that into the Wiregrass area.
How do you plan to address homelessness in the district, and what role will local government play in providing solutions?
Um, Find those that need help. And sometimes they'll find you. And I think one of the biggest things is underdressing underlining issues that may have caused the homelessness. Um, Finding facilities that they can go to. And what I mean by underlying issues, whether that may have been loss of job, uh, sickness, a medical issue, a medical illness, mental health issues that may have developed over time, whether it's through PTSD, or a lot of other things, or substance abuse issues. So, if any of those issues or any other issues cause the homelessness, let's start to address those underlying issues that cause the end result of someone becoming homeless. And once we do that, then indirectly that can fix some of the major issue of the end result of somebody not having a safe, stable, sanitized home to live in. But until that happens, find programs and find entities. There is the Herring House that actually houses people long term that are homeless that need help with programming, job development, academic success, helping them get their GED. A numerous amount of resources that are provided. So finding those places who already exist, expand them, continue to grow, and even find other new resources as well that can address and alleviate and also activate some of the new um, solutions that can affect those issues.
What measures will you take to ensure equal access to government services for all community members?
Um, the importance of having access for all the community members to governmental services is, I think, an information issue. Making sure that the knowledge, for one, is out to all the residents, which means by a lot of people get their information through social media, email, a lot of electronic services. So making sure that information and also what these services are, how do you obtain them, and where to get them. I know there's the 211 program that's been great in making sure by networking and putting all of those entities together in one central location, no matter what it is. I think they have an extensive database. But just making sure that people know where to get that information for whatever issues that they may have, or for whatever need help they may need. Finding those services, I think, is paramount, and finding them sometimes immediately, also making them easier to access.
How do you plan to ensure transparency in your decision making and in the allocation of resources?
Transparency. Sometimes I think that information kind of sometimes can fall by the wayside. I think there needs to be a bridge in what happens on the commission and what happens with agenda items that come on the commission as voted upon. Being that the commission meetings are held on Tuesday mornings, um, twice a month, I think most of the constituents do have work schedules, school schedules that really don't permit the attendance or the personal attendance to those meetings. So I think having recaps and rundowns, even if it's me creating that on my social media or website or other avenues, to where once people are home or can get the briefs and understand, okay, this particular agenda item was voted upon today or was brought to the forefront, making sure they always are informed about what's going on, how it affects them, what the budget is, what's spent on what, and making sure they're in agreement with that, and also understanding what is good for the community, what is good for the district, and things that may not. And also have them. And if I have an agenda item that's coming up, I would like to put that out there and get the thoughts and concerns of the citizens or the constituents in the district, and see how they feel about this item and how would they have me represent them when it comes to those particular agenda items.
What steps will you take to ensure that you are held accountable to your constituents?
I think by providing information, but also I think when you're a public figure or you're a representative for a large community, you have to be open to criticism. And that's one thing about me. I do believe in servant leadership. I believe in empowering those that I represent or that I guide. Give them the resources, tools, information that they need to be successful in whatever endeavors that they have for themselves. But also have an open forum, have open lines of communication to me and say, hey, am I doing a good job? And I think having those semi-annual or even quarterly meetings, town halls, things of that nature. Hey, come in. How have you seen a benefit or an increase or an embetterment of your life? Have I been doing the things that you expect me to do? Have I been living up to your expectation as your commissioner, as your representation to local government? And if I haven't, hey, tell me, what do we need to do? Let's formulate a plan. Let's go back to the drawing board. Let's say what it is we need to address. Let's say what it is, or find those issues that's important to you. District 2 is a unique district. So concerns of the east side of the district or concerns of the west side of the district may be different. But however, those concerns are all valid and they will all come together to make the district better overall. So they are all important, but they just may be unique in nature. So like I said, as a public figure, you have to be open to criticism, but also open to hearing the voices and concerns of everybody in your district, and work together as a team to formulate a plan and a plan of action, attack it, implement it, and make a successful endeavor in alleviating or addressing those issues.
How will you handle conflicts of interest and ensure ethical conduct in your position?
Um, Conflict of interest, I think, can arise. But I think just being having that open door policy. But for me personally, right now, I don't even have employment in the state of Alabama. I actually just work across the state line in Florida, which I worked there for a number of years. I'm actually headed to retirement. So me being a retired citizen, I'll have the time to address a lot of those issues. Me and my wife being in a service oriented business of providing daycare services to families who need to work. And we've opened up our home because we actually have a early childhood home daycare program. And I believe it's the only certified early childhood program in the Wiregrass. And we provide those resources to our community, which establish the parents to be able to get to school and to work, but also know that their kids are are cared for in a safe environment. So I think me just being open and not tied to a whole lot of extra obligations would be a great person, which would make me a great person or great representative to represent.
Why are you running for District 2 Commissioner, and what motivates you to serve in this capacity?
Um, Honestly, I think it's God led. Um, when it was mentioned to me by a number of different individuals, when I think about possibly running for the position once the seat became vacant. Me personally, I've never come out and threw my hat in to run against the sitting commission. Last time I ran the commissioner who was sitting decided, or in the seat, or occupying the seat at the time, decided he would not seek reelection. So at the time, then I decided, okay, well, I would try to give it a go. Same thing this time. Once Dr. Kirkland decided he would not seek reelection, then I decided, okay, well, how could I help? And after a lot of discussion, a lot of prayer, talking with my family, my wife, and I said, I feel like I have the skills, abilities, and experiences that can help the district by sitting and representing them on the Dothan City Commission. Um, I've never been competitive to come against someone who's already doing a hard job. I've always wanted to help. I said, how can I help? And that's the mentality or the ideas I've always taken when I approach these. So I think just having those and blessed with the abilities and skills, and once again, life experiences that can help all the constituents in the district progress, grow as the city of Dothan grows, but also make sure every citizen in the district has an opportunity to increase their overall quality of life.
Well, thank you so much for coming in today, Mr. Phillipe, and good luck with your election.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.